lots of communication, lots of asking questions, obviously, because at a certain point, I mean, there's so many artists out there who get contacted by so many managers, publishers, label people, and stuff. So it's really about asking the right questions, and also like communicating your needs, what's important for you, and then yeah, just like try to filter who's definitely sharing the vision and who's basically part of your team, part of your soccer team, part of your well-oiled machine, and who do you think can definitely add value to your kind of project. So yeah, it's all about communication, in my opinion, and finding out who wants me to grow and who can add substantial revenue, value to the project.
And what I would like to add is like it's always about the vibe, because when there's not the right vibe, when you work with people, you can't work together in a good partnership. And it's all about also about purpose. So what's the purpose why we work together?
So the bigger picture or something that lies below.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Then the next question would be, how do you balance artistry, branding, and monetization? These three factors. How would you rank them, or how would you balance them?
Nowadays, I think it's very, very, very important to have a strong brand, which is recognizable in the market. Because if you don't have a brand, the people don't get you or the brand and do not recognize again what are you doing. So the brand is very, very important nowadays, more important than a few years ago maybe. And after that, it's very easy, to be honest, when you have a strong brand, which has a lot of reach, to build up brand partnerships and to monetize it through
Brand
the channels.
Yeah.
So it's all about the brand at first, I think. But you can build up the brand through different ways, like build up the brand through music, or build up the brand through TikTok, or some creative ideas.
True. You want to add something? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, monetization should not like be the focus in the first place when like kind of starting an artist project, in my opinion. Again, I really feel that that's a result from like kind of proper artist branding and like finding a proper vision for the project. So I think that should be like kind of always the foundation, kind of music first, branding first, and then hopefully, obviously, there will be some monetization coming out of it as a result. But yeah, just like kind of focusing on the streaming numbers in the first place does not mean that you have a long-lasting, substantial career out of it, actually. So it can be very difficult, actually, because I mean, you'll see these people out there who upload so many TikToks. They kind of release covers and interpolations and stuff, and they have like some kind of great revenue created out of it, and they earn loads of money of it. And then there's you as an artist, like struggling to like basically to find an artist's vision. So it can be quite difficult, but it all comes down to that. I mean, kind of, yeah, creating a proper vision, be true to yourself and find your own way, and then hopefully the monetization will come out of it. But I really feel, as you just said before, branding and artistry first, and then monetization will be the result.
Yeah, I think it's important to be yourself. So when you're not to be yourself, then you have a big fan base or something like this. So for an artist, it's important to have a big fan base because they are streaming your music, they are coming to your gigs, and they are watching your Instagram or TikToks or something like this. And yeah, they are right to you. And yeah, I think that's
so being
important.
authentic, being
yeah, definitely.
So building a personal brand is important, but also building a visible brand for other people's. And I think BDL Records, together with LUNAX, we did that in the past very, very good. Because when you started DJing, it was like the first step, doing music. And after that, we tried to build up, or the whole team. And we are now at BDL Records working 5 or 6 people for the project LUNAX.
More.
Building a brand. Through how does LUNAX look like on stage? What are the show elements on stage, and what are the recognizable colors maybe in communication? So all that is something which comes to the brand.
No coincidence. Very well. Yeah, thank you. Then. let's talk about revenue diversification. What are the most, what income streams are most viable today beyond DSPs? I mean, the digital service providers, the typical Spotify, SoundCloud, or Bandcamp, or what is there else? Live shows, merch, sync, crowdfunding, NFTs. What are you aiming for? I mean, there are so many income streams, but what is like the main ones that you would target, or all of them? I don't know.
The best thing for us is still being in contact with the people in real life, because that is the most important thing to get the connection from fans to artists. And this is also when it comes to the income. We can talk about some relations. 50 or 60% LUNAX income is through live shows. 30-40% through streaming, and the other percent are from brand partnerships. And I think it's good when you're very successful in the game for a few years and it's getting bigger and bigger. The relations are swapping around. So maybe in 2 years the brand partnerships are having a higher percent, hopefully. But right now it looks like that.
Maybe.
No, I mean, also just like from a musical perspective, what we haven't like talked about is actually that there's also like kind of different ways to earn money than being an artist only. I mean, you can be a producer for others, you can be a songwriter for others. Obviously, like selling merchandise can be very important, and it's quite interesting in my opinion because there's also like a couple of artists out there who don't have kind of a big audience in terms of streaming, but they play live a lot. They play worldwide shows. They're on tour on a daily basis, and they only make a couple of streams on Spotify. And then on the other way around, there's artist projects who stream heavily, but they don't have like kind of a consistent touring business. So it's not necessarily that these kind of different kinds of fields are influencing each other. You can definitely kind of coexist in these kinds of fields individually. So, but yeah, as you said, I mean, branding is super important. You can earn loads of money with branding as well if you take a focus on that. So there's definitely different kinds of income sources beyond the DSPs and beyond streaming.
I was thinking publishing rights also, maybe doing sync rights, putting the music in movies and commercials. There's so many different ways. And I always think, since I also work in management sometimes, that there's always money left on the table that the artists don't see or the management doesn't take care of. So there's so many ways. That's why I was asking what the focus is on.
So as an artist, you have to know what you want. Do you want to go on shows, or do you want to produce some music, or do you want both? Or, I don't know, do you want to go on songwriting, or go to radio, or to TV shows, or do you want everything? So it's important for an artist, first of all, to know what you want. And then you can work with your team on it. Yeah.
What you're good at.
Yeah.
That's also quite important to know.
Yeah.
All right. Then, do you have any examples of hybrid business models of artists where you, I don't know, split maybe? We just talked about different focuses, but do you have an example of artists where you have a clear separation of, okay, this one is more focused on live and songwriting maybe, or I don't know?
Well, we are focused on live and streaming when it comes to LUNAX right now. But of course, when we talk about some label stuff, Beat Dealer Records, we have also a lot of artists which are just like streaming artists, which are not playing live in front of the crowd because they're doing the production or they want to get playlisted, and this is very important for them. And
they don't play at all live, or?
There are some streaming artists as well which are not playing live.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Want to add something to it?
Yeah, I mean, beyond dance, I also work with artists in the pop world, basically. And I work with an artist who basically started as a songwriter and producer for others. He has cuts with like Rehab, Steve Aoki, Gabri Ponte and stuff. And then on the other hand, this artist is also like kind of working on a proper artist project. It's a singer-songwriter project basically. So so it can definitely coexist, and you can definitely kind of create substantial kind of value from like being focused on these different kinds of fields. And then from a branding perspective, this artist is also like kind of on its way, like kind of to collaborate with like certain brands out there. So yeah, there's definitely ways to kind of combine these different fields.
Being creative about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you have any preferred formats that you like to release on? Is there vinyl, cassette maybe? Some, you know, there is this retro kind of thing of going on sometimes with some artists.
Yeah, we release every Friday a cassette. Nah,
Yeah,
no,
who knows?
we are very focused on the streaming side, and I think that's also because we are a very young label, and we are very dynamic, and we are very on point when it comes to new technologies, and we are always to be a first mover in some sections. So yeah, we are focused right now on streaming, but this year it's the first year we are doing something different with LUNAX.
Yeah, this year I can say this year we released an album. It's my first album after 5 years. So yeah, we have there a CD or a vinyl as well, so that we can, for every people, for maybe for the older people who buy a CD or a vinyl and they took it in his regal or something like that. Yeah, I think we have to do everything because everybody is watching or hearing it. And
I
yeah,
think not only older people are buying vinyls, by the way.
not only, no.
No, we thought because it's like the 5th anniversary of LUNAX right now this year, and we want to do something special, and we thought about a bundle which we push out on the market, and we are also doing not only vinyl and CDs for the album, we are also doing bundles with shirts with an exclusive cooperation with a fashion brand. So this is also an income stream for this year right now.
And actually, also, I feel like it depends on what kind of targets you basically have, because, I mean, the kind of physical sector obviously is declining a lot, which is why streaming, of course, is kind of the main thing in terms of kind of earning money through kind of sales. But especially when it comes to targeting kind of a core audience, I really feel like that with vinyl and even cassettes and stuff, you can definitely kind of create some added value for people like to really go into it and have a stronger connection to you as an artist. So just like from a commercial perspective, it doesn't make sense. For example, I just came back from a trip to Seoul, and over there in the K-pop world, people buy physical CDs and albums and stuff. So that's kind of the main kind of factor over there. So it's totally different. But yeah, I really feel like servicing kind of your kind of core audience and like also connecting fans even stronger to you can definitely be generated through like kind of selling vinyl, selling kind of cassettes, and just like kind of give an added value for them, like to interact with you as an artist, and for example also like to kind of add some additional records to these records that you're selling. So it's definitely super important.
I think the goal should every time to be successful for a long time, to reach new audiences through every possible way. And one way is also to get new ways through a bundle which has never been done before for LUNAX.
Do you benchmark, or do you have anything you aim for? Do you set goals that you want to meet in terms of numbers in 1 year, or do you just go and see how it goes?
The biggest goal for us right now this year, because there was never been an album for LUNAX, that we get into the album charts. So this is a goal we want to achieve, and fingers are crossed. The album comes out in August, 8th of August, and yeah, it's a lot of dance music festival sound on it, and it's you can pre-order it right now if you want.
This is the way to go. Yeah, great. Then let's start talking about community and the fan relationship. What is the preferred way? probably for you the better question to answer also. But
Yeah, it's definitely the social media, so Instagram, TikTok, and WhatsApp, the WhatsApp channels, so I can write to the people and they see it on WhatsApp, and of course the gigs. So when I play on shows, I came to the audience and make pictures and talk with them. So I think that's the important thing, that that you are nearly to the audience.
the live connection.
Yeah, the live connections. Yeah.
All right, and then you translate this and then keep in touch on
Yes.
Instagram and WhatsApp and
Yeah.
other ways or other channels, Discord, I don't know, other platforms.
Yeah, I mean, social media obviously is super important, but again, like these kind of more individual kind of WhatsApp groups, or even there's like these kind of Instagram groups as well that you can use. So just like kind of all these ways to directly kind of communicate with your audience, and even little fan events where you just like kind of exclusively invite a handful of people to your desired location, and then just like showcasing some new demos, or just like kind of pre-listening events for like listening to the upcoming album, for example, and stuff. So yeah, every kind of way to directly communicate with your people out there, because obviously, I mean, social media is super important and everybody's like using it, and it's pretty easy to use. You're like kind of, you have the full control of like what you're kind of sending out there, but everybody wants to be treated in like a certain kind of individual way, right? So I think it's super important like to find these ways of how you can basically service your community the best way, and yeah, and how they can kind of be special.
So how do you then retain or build loyalty when you're already talking about how you communicate? How do you keep this fresh and keep your fans loyal? Is there any element that you would say that works quite well?
Yeah, first of all, be personal. I think the connection is very, very important. And then ask them what are the thoughts about some topics, like, do you like more this song or that song?
Have like a two-way communication.
Yeah,
not
like a
only-
real communication,
Yeah,
not one way.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
You can nowadays also like involve your fans. I mean, it's not like for every artist, but out there people are saying, hey, please write me a song, so please send me some lines, and I'll just like kind of write my song out of these lines that you're sending to me. So just like all these ways of interaction can help, in my opinion. So
That's nice,
that's what kind of creates loyalty as well. But it all comes down to authenticity, in my opinion. I mean, staying authentic, just like kind of following your way, and people will see, hey, this is just not like some kind of marketing product and somebody who's just like being influenced by everything out there, just like trying to be successful. It's yeah, it's really about like creating your own kind of artistry out of it, and people will follow.
And share some personal things, so maybe in your story. So for my way, it's kickboxing or the federal police, or I don't know, something like that, or I'm riding horse, something like that, and that you take it to your personal thing in your free time,
I'm
not only the work.
Looking forward to the album listening party at the kickboxing station.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, quite a good.
It is.
Why not?
That was our concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Do you have something like the traditional fan club or subscription models, or something more binding than the normal communication, or do you try to work on those things as well? To have some, maybe, yeah, you can have, I don't know, Patreon or some subscription models that only the subscribers or hardcore fans have access to certain things, or?
We had a few events for hardcore fans, like a special fan event in the office of Beat Dealer Records, together with LUNAX, and they met her, and this was really, really special for the people, because it's never been so intimate like that. That was good. And
Yeah, it was a release party only for fans, so they wrote on the guest list and then they come, and that was really crazy, because we had one guy that lived in Stuttgart and came to Hamburg only for this event, and yeah, definitely. And some fans are coming with my merch to my gigs and show them on the top, and yeah, that's crazy. So I think it's good for them. They have merch, or they have personal things from me.
do something special. I think that's the most important thing.
Out of the box surprise. All right. Oh, very nice. And then talking now about the team and the infrastructure. We touched this at the beginning. What is kind of the team that the artist should have around him? Which are these players? How does this team look like? The infrastructure.
Well, as I said, a few people are working at Beat Dealer Records, and a few people are involved in the project LUNAX. And it depends when we talk internally. Beat Dealer Records, it's like also a management. We are responsible for all the brand partnerships, for all the communication, for all the concepts when it comes to the album, when it comes to new releases. There are A&Rs as well. But when it comes to external partners, it's like a PR agency, booker.
Let's start more internally first. Like, who do you have like with you like every day, like in your label? Who's working there?
There are working two people on new music. There are working two people on the content strategy when it comes to planning content pieces for social media, doing shootings, video shoots, but also press shoots. Recording audio stuff for radio stations, all the stuff you need when it comes to new releases. It's all the stuff is internal.
That's the label, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, well, the outside.
Outside, it's like, as I said,
Booking,
PR, TV promoter, because LUNAX was also in some big TV shows like ZDF Fernsehgarten, which has a big reach in Germany. Or played a live set in the children TV station Kika, and it will come this year, I think, again, hopefully for the new album. So this is all the stuff we need to achieve, and it's also very important to get in new bubbles and to reach new audiences. And this is the way I think everybody should go, meet the people, talk to new people. To get into those sections you have never been before.
Want to add something?
I mean, since I'm not involved in the LUNAX project, obviously I have a different kind of point of view, because I think there's no one-fits-all solution out there. I think every artist basically needs to find their teams and needs to decide, hey, what do I need? And I think especially for newcomers, I really feel like they don't need a big radio or kind of TV promoter or like a PR agency in the first place. I think there's different kind of goals to achieve in the first place. But at a certain stage, obviously, you can kind of add people to your teams. So I really feel like it comes down to basically, find a musical vision first, and then like kind of see what kind of people do you need to support you, and again, what kind of people are really adding value to your project, and what kind of people are really kind of sharing your vision. Because I mean, just signing a record deal because a record label is throwing money at you doesn't make sense if they don't share the same vision. If they say, hey, do rock music, but you want to do dance, it doesn't make sense at all. So you don't need this label for you. So and there's these kind of things. I mean, obviously that was a very extreme example, but sometimes there's people who want to be signed somewhere because they feel like, hey, they definitely have to like add value, but you definitely need to communicate with those people, find out what their vision is, check if this vision aligns with your vision, and then you can say, okay, yes, it makes sense for you to join my team, because the artist is first.
Right. So how do you define, or how do labels and managers collaborate best with artists? What would be the best way of collaborating together? Is it more loose relationship, or is it
everybody should win?
Yeah, that's a win-win. Yeah.
Then it's a good relationship. Everybody should have a good feeling and working on one vision.
I mean, as long as the artist has like their kind of creative freedom, I mean, that should always be like kind of the factor. I guess you will have like kind of the best point of view on it, but also in that sense, there's no kind of general solution for it. But I feel like it's really about like the artist kind of being able to like do their craft, write songs, release music, produce music and stuff. And when it comes to like kind of the general kind of communication, it's like very individual. Again, it's about like aligning on the same vision, and then there's like individual ways of communication between like each of the involved parties, I guess.
And LUNAX, what do you think as an artist? Like, what is for you the best way labels or managers can work with an artist?
I think it's all about the communicated. So you have to speak with them, and when you don't fit together, so you can work together. Because the most important thing is that you be yourself, and that all the project is authentic, and that's important for the labels, for the manager, and for the artist. And yeah, when you have this both for everyone, you can work together. Yeah.
I find it quite interesting sometimes when like artists sign record deals, then there's an A&R who wants to like kind of involve himself or herself, just like kind of bringing in a creative vision and just like try to change the artist. And that's like the perfect example, in my opinion, how it should not be actually, because you should always like kind of ask questions first and just like try to understand the other perspective. So yeah, listen first, communicate very well, as you've said, and aligning on the vision.
All right. And then do you use coaches? They were just talking about mental health before. Could be, do you integrate that as well? Or business advisors or something like that? Any external?
I think actually legal people are very important.
Yes.
You should always have kind
Nowadays,
of legal representation, because there's always like people out there who want to earn money with you, and you should definitely have somebody in your team who is representing your interests. This can also be a manager. I mean, this can also be your family. So so I think the legal kind of side is super, super important, which is mostly like also sometimes the first thing. I mean, especially when like talking to young artists, I mean, I'm always telling them, hey, if you want to sign a deal with me, please get a lawyer. And I want to be here together with you in 5-10 years, and we all want to be like happy about our collaboration, want to continue to work rather than being in a legal battle next month because there was like an issue. So I think that's the most important thing.
The A&O, I would say, also legal. But then mental health, do you?
No, it's not a topic for us. No.
Okay, very good. I mean,
no,
if you
I'm
don't
just
need-
joking. I'm just joking. So it's all about mental health, because when nobody feels well, it's the people are not able to work. So, but besides that, I think the founders of BD Records, Tim and Thorsten, they did a very good job when they set up the company, because they put all the people to the company with some different backgrounds, and we have a guy on board which is very experienced when it comes to photo shoots and video shoots. So there's experience from that part. There's some experience when it comes to DSP, Spotify. So we can work on that topic as well. Or when it comes to media. So internally we have a lot of specialists and work on those topics when it's necessary. Yeah.
Great. Then let's talk about how does Berlin scene influence your approach to building ecosystems? Are you very active in Berlin, or?
We are. The label is based in Hamburg, which is not far away, but Berlin is for us the melting pot for electronic dance music. And I think the last few weeks we had a very, very big, like an event for LUNAX in Berlin.
Yeah, we have here a songwriting camp, 3 days with so many producers and singer-songwriter for my new album. And yeah, we are meeting really often here in Berlin because we have here the Red Bull studios and so many more studios. Yeah, and you meet so many Künstlers. Artists, sorry. Artists. And Berlin is the meeting pot. And yeah.
Want to add anything to Berlin?
I mean, especially when it comes to like international, the international music industry, I feel like Berlin is super important. I'm talking loads with like people from the UK, from Scandinavia, from Korea, even from the US and stuff, and it feels like Berlin is like getting more and more kind of involved in like kind of this whole global thing, and Berlin's kind of reputation in terms of dance music is super, super important actually. So to me, it feels like that Berlin is somehow like the capital of like kind of the music industry in terms of Europe. I mean, especially when it comes to songwriting, I feel like Stockholm is quite important, like the Scandis in general. I mean, obviously London, which is not like part of Europe, but still is very, like very close, is super important as well. But yeah, I feel like it's getting more and more recognition outside of Germany, which is great.
And is there anything Berlin should learn, like from global trends that you see or that you pick up? We were just talking about South Korea, for example. Is there anything Berlin should learn, like for the future, to keep on being successful as a music mecca?
From my personal view, they should do better Käsespätzle. No, because I'm from the south of Germany. But from a professional point of view,
German dish, by the way.
Maybe a bit more structured.
Okay.
But when it's no, I think it's all fine here. I like to be here.
Well, I like to. I think sometimes how the Americans do it and how we work over here, because America's really good at putting on a show, right? They have showmanship and all this part very down. It's in their DNA, I would say. And over here it's more underground and just like very simple things, and this shows everything that should show, kind of. But this is just an example. I don't know if you have any other ideas that Berlin could learn, but maybe there isn't. I don't know.
I mean, what I think Berlin is doing quite well is also like looking at other kind of territories and just like being inspired by what's happening in the UK or in the US musically. So I don't have like any kind of advice for Berlin like to change. I really feel like we're in a global music industry, and like we have all like these opportunities to be inspired by like people from anywhere else. And I really feel like yeah, that people from everywhere around the globe, even though it's like just a very small town, I think there's like so many opportunities like to work in music and to create music. And yeah, so no kind of proper advice or suggestion. I think we're like in a very kind of good place at the moment.
All right. So let's do some finishing questions. What would be the advice that you could give an artist now for the future, like to have like a strategy, or maybe an underrated strategy to become successful and have this successful artist ecosystem?
Don't search for an ecosystem at first. Search for yourself, search for your purpose, search for what you want to achieve by yourself. Do that. Reach your own goals, and then speak to other people with the arguments you achieved.
Yeah, you see that a lot, that artists asking for bookings, and then they're booking at agencies when they're not really ready for it. Do you mean these kind of things?
When you have no bookings, you are not ready for the market, I think. So
I think when you don't have bookings, just arrange them yourselves. I mean, just hustle. That's my opinion. I mean, be consistent in what you want to do. Be consistent in what you believe in, and then there will be people coming your way. So if there's no manager, no label, no publisher out there who wants to work with you, then just like do it yourself and hustle. I mean, there's all these like kind of opportunities out there. You can just learn so many things. You can produce. You can kind of even use samples. You don't necessarily have to like kind of have the singing skills and stuff. So you have all these things basically served to you. So you can definitely do it yourself. And it's all about like kind of this consistency, in my opinion, and also authenticity. And I was thinking about that a lot, actually. I mean, there are so many people who say, hey, don't listen to others, just do your thing. I mean, that's partly right, but I also feel like listen to others and just check out what's happening, and then basically use all of these things that fit to your vision and learn from it, and basically make things better. So I really feel like also like kind of building a successful kind of network and the supporting system, and connect with other artists. You can just like always learn from that and profit from that. So just be active, be communicative, be consistent, be authentic, and yeah, just work very hard, because that's what it's all about.
Bottom line, yeah.
because otherwise other people work harder.
Yeah, that's true.
And work on yourself.
Very good. I like that. So yeah, then the last question would be maybe looking into the future. How could this work that you're doing right now change for 2030 or maybe beyond? Is there anything that you see on the horizon that things might change, that the approach?
Things are changing every time, so
But we don't know exactly what could happen, but we see
correct.
already.
I think the most important thing is be open-minded, and look what you can do, what you could do, and do it.
I think don't hide from trends. I mean, everybody is like afraid of AI, for example. Try to make AI work for you. I mean, it's not necessarily that way that AI will basically replace you, but just like try to embrace these trends, try to use them for yourself. And yeah, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in 5, 10, 15 years. But I really feel like being open to all of these like new trends can only help you.
All right. So this was then the last question. Do you want to add anything else before we go into the questions round from the?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Then now we have an open mic for all of you who want to ask a question. Here, first row, please. Microphone.
Microphone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Too many
9,
MCs,
10,
not enough mics.
11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have them here? I knew it. Sorry. I had them right here.
First row.
Getting there.
Hi, LUNAX. You spoke about ecosystem, and Dominik did it as well. I just was wondering, like, how much are you involved in day-to-day doings? You know, like the nitty-gritty, all the details. Does literally everything has to go through your approval before it goes out, or how is that like?
Yeah, definitely. So we talk about everything, and we have a WhatsApp group, or we have a call every day, and we are talking about everything. So when I don't approve it, then it don't goes out, because I have to be fine with it, and we have to talk about it together. And yes, so everything is approved from us, from our team. And so okay, we have sometimes a different
Different view of that.
different views, yeah, but I think when I'm totally fine and the crew is totally fine, then everything's totally fine.
And yeah, we have specialists in every section, every department, and each expert has a vision or experience on the topic. And sometimes we have to talk, we have to discuss. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes not. But at the end, we want to achieve one goal, and we have to go forward.
Sure.
Just was wondering as well, we were speaking about streaming all the time, and I was just wondering, especially like in a dance music scene, you still have Beatport around. How important is that for you?
Not for the project LUNAX right now, to be honest, because this is like not the music style which is for Beatport made. We have a sub-label or sub-labels which are more underground, like Alaula Music or Tipsy Dreamer, when it comes to techno or trance music, and that fits more to Beatport.
So it's still important, but not for the project.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Over here?
Hey, hello. I think kind of answered this already, but just really quick. And having a team is a very beautiful thing, not to be taken for granted. What might you say to an artist that's on a reputable independent label, has a good stack of singles out? The label has a lot of artists, maybe 200. And you maybe get an email says, that's a good track, we'll take it, thanks, cool, here's the contract, great. They do maybe a YouTube short here and there. So I'm still kind of, that artist would be on their own pretty much feeling, although it's really cool to have a label relationship. What would you say about that kind of situation?
Tjark, it's your turn, come on.
Say something.
difficult. I mean, I think it comes back to basically what I said before. Actually, I mean, before signing such a deal, it's very important like to speak with those people at the label and talk about what like kind of their vision is and what kind of added value they can bring to the table. So it's really important like for you as an artist to find out what their kind of goal is and. Yeah, it's all about that. Again, the communication is just like finding out what can they add to the project. Do they add substantial value? What is it about? What like are the details of it? I mean, uploading kind of YouTube videos and stuff is super important. Uploading YouTube Shorts is very, very important. So it's definitely part of the strategy. But if I would be that kind of artist, I would just like ask questions and just like add, hey. What else do you want to do? What else kind of can you do to help me in terms of like the DSPs? Are you like pitching records? What kind of strategies there from a musical perspective, like from an A&R perspective? Are there kind of remixes planned? Obviously, when it comes to like a content strategy in general, you could just like ask the label, what's your plan with that? How can we kind of produce new content? And what's like the overall kind of marketing strategy? So there's so many things to ask. I mean, these are just like a few of these, but in terms of like kind of press as well, in terms of brand partnerships as well. So there's like so many different things to do. So yeah, just ask questions and try to find out what kind of else they have planned with your record.